Just an update on that situation. I've been reliably informed that the remaining Iranian soccer team delegation is en route from the Gold Coast to Sydney, and that they are expecting that they're looking to catch a flight from Sydney to Sri Lanka. So there will be members of the Australian-Iranian community going to Sydney Airport as we speak to try and get to the team there and try and make sure that everybody has that opportunity, as we just discussed, to claim asylum if they can. Now, 10 days into the conflict with Iran, and President Trump has said the war could soon be over.
We're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. Most of Iran's naval power has been sunk. It's on the bottom of the sea.
The sooner it ends, of course, the better for global security, the better for the world economy, the better for the Iranian people and other nations in the Middle East, and, of course, for the president's political position in an election year, as I discussed with US analyst Kristin Tate.
You know, I'm optimistic, but I'm not sure how this is going to end anytime soon. All signs do seem to point towards this conflict sort of intensifying. Now we see reports saying that Trump has not ruled out putting American boots on the ground or even using a military draft. He's now saying that the new supreme leader won't last long. So I think the American people deserve to know, what is the goal that we're trying to accomplish? Was it to destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities? Is it to destroy their military facilities? Is it to put in place regime change? And how is that going to be achieved? Has it been achieved? These are answers we deserve to know. And yes, you're correct. We're in a midterm year right now. We're all focused on this while the Democrats are talking about the economy. I was driving today and saw $4 a gallon gas again. These are the issues most Americans are most focused on. They're everyday economic issues. And rightly so. That's what they're thinking about, not some conflict in a part of the world that they can't even pinpoint on a map in many cases. So let's hope this wraps up quickly for the good of the world. And yes, for the Republicans politically as well.
Yeah, very important insight there, but I want to continue on with the war issue. I've highlighted a number of times the claims that the US bombs or missiles had struck an Iranian school for girls in southern Iran. There was a lot of speculation about this, a lot of claims and counterclaims. The weight of evidence does now suggest that this would have been a misdirected American bomb. There are Iranian military facilities very close by. Let's have a look at what the President and the Secretary of War have had to say on this.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
Yeah, the Secretary of War more circumspect than the President there. The weight of evidence suggests this could have been a tragic accident. And I think Pete Hegseth's point is the valid one. That is, certainly the Americans and Israelis are not targeting civilian areas, whereas Iran, and through its proxies, definitely has.
Yeah, of course. I first saw this story reported last week as I was working for a piece for the Boston Globe. And when I first saw it, I was a bit skeptical because Iranian state media, it can't be trusted a lot of the time, but now it appears to be true. More than 160 people were reportedly killed due to a strike that hit a girls' elementary school. Yes, I definitely think this was a mistake if it's true. Nobody thinks that it was the goal of the U.S. military to kill civilians. However, I do think the administration needs to be upfront about this if it did happen and it was a mistake. If you're not upfront about these things and then the truth comes out, you start to lose credibility, not just abroad, but here at home as well. And it is a reminder of the tragedies that occur during war. But the administration needs to be clear about what exactly happened here.
I want to go to the case of the Iranian women's football team now, the soccer team that's been in Australia for a couple of weeks. This is the story well known in Australia. They were seen bravely refusing to sing their national anthem. A lot of controversy about whether they wanted to claim asylum or not, and we focused on that in this program again last night. Then at about 1 o'clock in the morning, Australian time, President Donald Trump went to social media and he said that Australia was making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the women to be forced back to Iran, where they most likely will be killed. He says, don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Give them asylum. The US will take them if you won't. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Well, lo and behold, at about 2 o'clock this morning, Australian time, the President spoke with the Prime Minister. Here's our Prime Minister this morning.
President Trump rang me this morning just before 2 a.m. We had a very positive discussion. He was concerned about the Iranian women in the soccer team and their welfare and their safety if they returned home. He conveyed that to me. I was able to convey to him the action that we'd undertaken over the previous 48 hours and that 5 of the team had asked for assistance and had received it.
There he is, Kristin. Now, I was saying our government was too slow on this yesterday. Does it look like the President might have just pushed them along a bit?
It certainly does, and good for Trump for doing this. This is the right thing to do. By not singing the anthem, that was obviously viewed as an act of defiance of the Iranian regime. Hardliners on the Iranian state media were calling these women traitors, raising fears, of course, they could face punishment if they returned home. So, of course, this is the right thing to do. And these are exactly the kinds of people that the West should be protecting. Individuals who risked their lives to stand up to tyranny. And conservatives as well, even those skeptical of open borders or refugees, should be supporting this. This case, of course, fits the refugee model here. This is a clear case where there was political persecution, most likely, clear threats from the regime. And these women are symbols of oppression to authoritarian rule. So good on Trump and good on Australia for doing the right thing here.
Yeah, spot on. There'll be a bit of debate about the timing, but the outcome was brilliant. To have a look at the President's follow-up post, he said that he'd just spoken to Anthony Albanese about the Iranian women. He's on it. 5 have already been taken care of. The rest are on their way. And he says that obviously the families are facing threats back in Iran and all the rest of it. And he says it's a very, very good job that's been done here. It's been handled delicately. God bless Australia, from President Donald J. Trump. So they are on the same page on this issue, and we'll see what unfolds for the other women. Thanks so much for joining us again, Kristin. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Chris.